meeting to order. Thank you all for coming. Clerk, please call the roll.
Parker Castle.
Here.
Wilbur Potter.
Here.
Edward Gilson.
Here.
David Holst.
Here.
Roy Real.
Here.
John Martino.
Here.
Bradley Trudeau.
Here.
Paul House.
Here.
James Weatherup.
Here.
Mary Ellen Chesbro.
Here.
Linda Lockwood.
Here.
Richard Klein.
Present.
Patrick Swiss.
Here.
Stephen Walpole.
Here.
Nathan Evans.
Here.
Thomas Drum.
Here.
Jim Rodwell is absent excused. Heather Del Conte.
Here.
Marie Schott.
Here.
Tim Stahl.
Here.
Terry Wilbur.
Here.
James Karasik.
Here.
Morris Cervello.
Here.
Daniel Kapaya.
Here.
Frank Cecilia.
Wouldn't miss it.
Will you stand for the invitation? As we come together this Valentine's Day, let us be thankful for its blessings, its opportunities, and its challenges. Help us to be mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind the enduring values of life and exerting our efforts in those areas upon which future generations can build their confidence. May we all continue to do so through the love of our country and our community. Amen. At this time, we'd like to welcome Staff Sergeant Christopher Denman of the U.S. Army National Guard to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'd like to to approve the minutes of the Oswego County Legislature meeting of January 3rd. John, do you have an item?
There's one item on the agenda that is for the vote for the chairman of the legislature. On that day, Legislator Potter made the vote for Legislator Wilbur. There was not a nomination at that time for Legislator Wilbur. That was made in error, but since it was a vote, we wanted to bring that in front of the legislature.
Okay. Thank you, Legislator Potter.
Yes, that was me, and I wasn't paying attention. And all of a sudden I heard Potter. I wasn't sure whether I was voting for chairman or for majority leader, and the wrong name came out. I'm sorry. I meant to vote for Weather.
I'd like everyone to know I did not coerce that.
Look at my arm.
All right, thank you. Anything else on the minutes? Legislator Cascade.
Miscellaneous business minutes. It states that I suggested something, and in actuality, Legislator Castillo should read, Legislator Castillo made a motion on the floor to bring the 2018 Oswego County Honor Flight veterans to the February 2019 full legislative meeting for recognition by this legislative body. It was seconded by Legislator Farfai. Legislator Wilbur suggested that a motion wasn't needed to perform this action and asked Legislator Castillo to take back his motion. After assurance by both Chairman and the Legislator Wilbur, this action will be taken. Legislator Castillo pulled his motion. That's the way it should be, because that's the action that actually happened. I did not put in the discussion that went on. No, that was the action. It was a motion made on the floor to take a vote, and that action was asked to be rescinded, and it was rescinded. That's the way the minutes should read. And I have a second item. Second item is Legislator Castillo asked for clarification of the Veterans Advisory Committee in regards to its oversight or non-oversight of the legislative body. No definitive answer was given. Chairman Weatherup ended the discussion. Because you're saying that you left that out, you put in, you kind of combine them together. Just for all I'm saying. That's the way they should read.
So we need a motion to amend the minutes?
I'd like to make the motion to amend the minutes to read as such. I gave the clerk of the legislature these changes, corrections, and I'd like it to read as such.
Second. Second by legislator John. Any discussions? Legislator Scott.
Yeah, I would definitely like to take a look at those before they're put in, or they're read. I would prefer not to vote and say yes on whatever this amendment is, because there was considerable discussion when we talked about the exact what goes on or not, so I prefer to have that, the notes to read over prior to being put in.
Well, we do have the tapes. Legislator Booker.
That's what I was going to suggest. Why don't we just hold these minutes and we'll approve them at the next month after we figure this out.
Okay, so we would need to table it till the next meeting?
So what you're saying is you don't believe what I'm saying, and I watched the tape 3 times to make sure what I said. The clerk has this right in front of him. It doesn't say anything different than what I said it said. And you're saying, you're questioning my honesty that I would say something different. That's what you're saying, by saying that you want to table it. I'm sorry.
I think what's being questioned is we have not read what we're voting on. I'm not going to vote on something I haven't read.
You ask us to do it all the time.
Wow. That's just my take. So.
Anything else? Is there a motion to table?
I'll make a motion.
We had a motion, and we had a second. We have to vote on that motion before we go to a motion to table.
Agreed. Any other discussion on the motion by legislator Stevens? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion fails. Okay, legislator Trudell.
I'm good.
You good?
I'll the motion to table order being back.
Well, at this point, it's failed.
It's
So,
failed. I'm good.
okay. Anything else?
I make the motion to table, please.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion made by legislator Ducani, seconded by Twist, table for 30 days. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right, this time we'd like to introduce some visitors. Sheriff could bring some, we have some length of service awards for some deputies. Bring them forward with the Public Safety Committee.
How about you just stay up there? Photogenic.
I get standing next to it.
There you go, right here. Where do you want it?
I've got your back, Margaret. The gentleman's got your back. Punch in.
Just turn around.
All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And a second. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Right, see, I want to make sure yours is.
So we have 4 deputies here. We'd like to congratulate you on your 10 years of service to the county. I don't have these in particular order, but I might actually kind of lucked out here. Yeah, I don't know. So Deputy Todd Delmar, I want to congratulate you on your 10 years of service to Oswego County. Thank you. I screwed up. Deputy James Darling, congratulations and thank you for your 10 years of service to the Deputy Shane Murray, 10 years of service, thank you for your service. Last but definitely not least, somebody that I see quite often now in our CSI meetings and around, 10 years of service to Deputy Christy Krast. Thank you. On behalf of the county and the Public Safety Committee, I want to thank all four of you and the whole department for the outstanding job that you do protecting and serving here in Oswego County. Thank you for everything and be safe out there. Thank you.
Two from my district.
Thank you. At this time I'd like to call Kathleen Vincent forward, recognizing 38 years and retiring from the Health Department. And we could have the Health Committee come forward. I told you, you might stay up there. You're right.
Hey, two from my district. Yeah.
Get over here where you see it.
On that side.
I'm getting older.
All right, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And a second. 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you.
How many years? 38. 38.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing.
Started out young.
I'm just tall when you started. Anyway, we want to, Kathleen is retiring. Unfortunately, that's our loss. Hopefully you have a lot of good things planned from this point forward. So we want to thank you for 38 years of service. I'm always blown away with that when people officials mind. You sure you can't do 2 more?
3 years ago, she said she's going to work for another 35 years. Okay, yeah. Kathy, yes, I remember 3 years ago in Pulaski Courthouse and gave her 35 years certificate, and I said she will work for another 35 years. And some of you agree with me.
Yeah.
So now she's leaving and 38 years service, and really a lot I can say. I just say one thing. Okay, 3-4 years ago our program had changed, and a patient moved to another program. The patient don't care about what program he will be put in, but he just asked who's coming, and we told her Casey and Carol is coming. Okay, patient said no. So I encouraged her to work for another 35 years, and my judgment was right, but my persuasiveness was poor. So this, you are my boss, and yeah, next time performance evaluation you can put it there. Okay.
Anything you want to say?
Yeah, we'll miss you.
It's been an honor for the Oswego County Health Department, an honor. Say that to the people.
I'm going to be a hospice volunteer still.
You get the text.
This is really the real reason I treat grass and rice.
But it's nothing on our paperwork about the public
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to bring up Donna Lee Felciatano, Community Development, 29 years. And the EDP committee too, please. We'll get them.
definitely.
Oh, yeah. Step it up. Okay, look, to the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And the second. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
Well, Donnelly, I want to congratulate you on everything you've done, and I know Dave has quite a bit to say, so I'm going to get right over to him. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Not quite a bit, and I probably can't entertain you as well as the health director, but Donnelly's been a great supervisor in our department. She started in 1989 when the housing program was relatively new in Oswego County. She wasn't here not even 2 full years before she became the program coordinator, and she's held that position ever since 1991. She grew the program into one that is financially self-supporting, so all the revenue that comes in for the operation of that department covers every one of our expenses, so it's 100% reimbursement, and she does a great job to make sure that it stays that way. She was serving about 500 customers. About 40% of those are senior citizens with just her and 3 other support staff, so they were very efficient and cost effective, and I'm going to miss having her there, and I know her staff will as well. Congratulations on a well-deserved retirement.
Thank you.
I just want to say what an honor it's been working for Oswego County. This is a great place to live and a great place to work. The communities are wonderful. All the people here are wonderful. The Section 8 program, the Section 8 program is a wonderful program to have in this community. It really helps people find decent and affordable housing so they can sit back, relax, rest up, gather themselves together to tackle other problems that they have in their lives. So it's a really worthy program. Also very worthy is something that I'm very passionate about, as Jim probably knows. I was the Fair Housing Officer for Oswego County. I really feel that fair housing needs to be promoted strongly. People need to be educated about it strongly. My own family was discriminated against. They had a newborn and were kicked out of their apartment. So ended up living in a camp with no running water and an outhouse. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. So I need everybody to keep working hard to educate and promote about fair housing. Thank you very much. Like I said, it's been an honor working here. This is a wonderful community, especially in the summertime. Winter, such a driving in from Pulaski. But thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
This time I'd like to call up America Munger from the Health Department, 35 years of service. And also the Health Committee.
And the second? 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
So, 35 years, Marlia has been with us, and Jing Chang just said he's gonna talk her into another 35 years, but we saw how that worked earlier. So, but we want to congratulate her for the years of service that she's given to the county. And, you gonna try for another 35?
Yes.
That might make me 90, that's probably not a good age. Maybe another 10.
We'll take that. Jing Chang?
Malia is a senior typist and she leads our environment health supporting staff team. And really she leads a great team, and I always say our front desk staff, they have smiling face, and this is the biggest smiling face. And I try to persuade her to work for county for another 35 years. As long as she works here, I think my performance evaluation will be okay. And when she left the product, I'm in trouble. So another 35 years.
You never know. I might make it another 10. After that, I won't make it any years. It's been great working for the county. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I've had a diverse experience. I've been in different places. I've settled on the health department is where I belong. Don't go away. Thank you.
I get to move down the line.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call up Pamela Austin from DSS, 35 years, along with the Human Services Committee.
Otherwise, it's stuck next to Brad.
Everybody else? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And the second? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Well, you know, I'm going to kick it right over to Stacy because she's got all kinds of prepared remarks there.
So Pam has been with us 35 years in child support collections and enforcement. You know how incredibly important that is. And we so honor her leadership as a supervisor, really a manager in providing support. This is a very highly regulated program, and this one has kind of grown up with all of those regs as a wealth of information for our staff, and just a really trusted and fun colleague to work with. So thank you so much.
This time I'd like to call up Dalia Ortiz Rosario, DSS, 30 years.
And the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And the section? 1, 2, 3.
I think it's tremendous to have these recognitions with so many people that have served us for so long. And again, I'll kick it over to Stacy.
So Maggie's in our fraud investigation Investigations Unit. She's one of our fraud investigators, 30 years. Only been just a couple of years in the beginning, right? Yeah. As an examiner. Yes, so first hired as a Spanish-speaking examiner, so is invaluable to really our whole organization. Fraud is really about transparency to our system. It's about making sure there's integrity. And Maggie really digs right in and makes sure that there is indeed integrity. You know, just last year, Maggie was part of a case where we had 3 clients, resulting in over $8,000 in monies provided to them that were prosecuted by the DA's office, as well as winning a disqualification hearing that resulted in combined overpayments being owed to us and us collecting in the amount of $11,000. That's just last year. So think about, well, 28 years in investigations for fraud, how much money this gal has brought back into our coffers. So thank you, Maggie, for all your diligence, hard work, and truly, again, a joy to work with. We have a lot of fun down there, don't we? Despite the seriousness of our work. So, yeah.
Thank you.
What I'd like to say is that when I first came into the county, I started out as a Spanish-speaking social welfare examiner, so I got the educational programs and everything. I did that for many years, and then my heart led me to the fraud portions of it. I thoroughly loved my job. That's probably why I haven't retired yet. It's a joy to come into work every day. Everything is different for me. And I love serving the community, and that's what basically social services is about, that we are able to serve our community, our constituents, and our families.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This time I'd like to call up Mary Revior, Human Resources, 25 years, along with the Human Services Committee.
Didn't say that.
Thank you very much. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And a second. 1, 2, 3.
When Mary started with the county 25 years ago in admin support, the HR department was moving towards, moving from typing employment records on a typewriter, and nothing was automated. And Mary has since moved us into implementing 3 different technical systems where we have automated records for applicant tracking and civil service administration. Most department heads know Mary as the go-to person in HR for the questions related to eligible lists and civil service administration. And but she also does this for our schools, towns, villages, and special districts within the county. Mary's knowledge and her attention to detail and thoroughness are certainly attributes that support our mission, but we also appreciate Mary's quick wit and compassion for others. So we're hoping that Mary works for us for many more years, and thank you for everything.
Legislator Wilbur, any speakers, public speakers on resolutions of the day?
Mr. Chairman, there are none.
Thank you. Reports of county officials. Reports of standing committees. Reports of special committees. Legislator Sordahl.
I'd like to make a note that the Hancock Airport manager of aviation is being moved into New York. They have been doing it. Christina Callahan has been a great person that took from the city operation to the county operation. She's done a remarkable job, so good that they decided to take her to New York to a bigger airport. So we are losing a lady that's done a tremendous job, but I think the committee's going to survive and still be doing it. So,
anything else? Okay, thank you. Moving on to resolutions of the day. Resolution GC1 by Legislator Holtz.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution, urge its adoption.
Will clerk please read the heading?
Resolution opposing Driver's License Access and Privacy Act concerning undocumented individuals.
Yes, I think one of our main concerns on this is our local DMV officers do not have the expertise to determine the authenticity of their cards for foreign individuals, and that they are residents of this state.
Thank you. Legislator Cadet.
Mr. Chairman, I'll be voting in support of this resolution with no moral hesitation. I understand there are individuals, even organized groups, that have moral reservations when choosing whether or not to support measures aimed at providing for our national security. I have no such reservation. Criminal aliens do not deserve the same rights and privileges as American citizens and legal immigrants. I'm the son of an immigrant, a legal immigrant. My mother came to this country and legally became a citizen. I believe I have a reasonable understanding of the privileges of American citizenship. I know that I have an understanding of the impact of criminal activity, including criminal aliens. I have no moral hesitation in guarding America by any means against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I understand this resolution is symbolic, but I entirely support this resolution with no moral hesitation.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator Jones.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the legislators' comments, and I've been on the record on this in committee, and I thought we came to a fair conversation that we had. I do struggle with this morally. I have no problem being on the record struggling with this morally. And the conversation that we had in committee was, it falls on the local municipalities and the local bodies to have a responsible conversation when it comes to immigration. We live on two different goalposts nationally with this conversation, with no sight of middle ground out there. And so I think it falls down to municipalities to continue to have a good conversation about this and a fair conversation about this. When we talk about immigrants that are here illegally, I mentioned this in committee. Many of these people are here to better their lives. They're doing it in a way that isn't legal, but they're doing it in a way to find a better life. And I believe that's one of the cornerstones of this country is to provide people opportunity. So, I voted in favor of this resolution in committee. I'm going to continue to do so today, but I just want to address the body and continue to urge us to have this conversation in an open and responsible way. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Although, Legislator Shaw.
Citizens are entitled to certain privileges, in my opinion. One is licensing. If you're looking for a way to identify undocumented people, a better idea, maybe a government-issued ID. I mean, I just think if my husband got a license to go across the border and needed to produce quite a few documents, I mean, maybe it would be a time to say, you need a government-issued ID and able to go forward, even to try for a license.
Thank you. Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Resolution PS1 by Legislator Wilbur.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budgetary modification, Sheriff's Office, insurance recovery funds transfer to automotive equipment.
What we're doing here is transferring the $38,550 that we received in from the insurance company to purchase a new vehicle. Replace a damaged one.
Very good. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution PS2 by Legislator Willer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing expenditure from unappropriated fund balance, Sheriff's Office.
As it says here, we're appropriating $251,000 to purchase 7 new patrol vehicles for the Sheriff's Department. The reason for purchasing this so early, or making this purchase so early on in the year, is due to the fact that we've already been told from the supplier that we are going to be behind this year on those orders. Manufacturing is behind. I would urge everybody to please support this resolution so we can get our order in and proceed forward so that our deputies can have safe, workable vehicles out there on the roads.
Thank you. Legislator Castillo.
I will be voting in favor of this resolution. As everybody remembers, 6 years ago, I stood in front of this body and argued about how many police cars we were buying at that time. And I believe it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 that year. 12 to 15 it was. And we argued the point to reduce the amount. And I think that the Sheriff's Department has done a fabulous job in moving around, keeping the vehicles on the road, and getting us down to this point where now we're down to 7 vehicles to 8 vehicles a year, and that's where we should be, and that's why I'm in favor of it, and that's why I applaud the Sheriff's Department for doing this fabulous job. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Resolution PS3 by Legislator Willer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budgetary modification, E911, telephone mobile data.
When we were crafting the 2019 budget, the mobile data money was budgeted in one line. According to audit, we need to rectify a situation, just get them in the right lines, and this is what this resolution is doing.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution PS4 by Legislator Willer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution appointing members to the Oswego County Fire Advisory Board for 2019.
This resolution does just that. As you can see, they're all listed there. There is a vacancy open in District 3 due to a recent retirement. They're actively pursuing a member to fill that void, which I'm sure we'll have something in a few months for that.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution PS5 by Legislator Willer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budgetary modification, fire advisory, Exelon Community Grant.
This is accepting an $11,000 grant from Exelon for our fire advisory, our fire coordinator's office. What this is going to be used for is educational purposes, pamphlets, things of that nature, along with fixing up a trailer that we had to go around and show everybody safe procedures, etc.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Resolution IT1, Legislator Walpole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution appointing members to the Oswego County Solid Waste Management Board.
As written, everyone should have a copy of the list in their packet. So they can keep the solid waste board.
Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Walker.
Abstaining from the vote.
Noted.
I will abstain as well.
I guess I got to too, right? Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Resolution IT2 by Legislator Walpole.
Mr. Chairman, I offer the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budget modification to transfer funds from the Insurance Recovery Fund into Highway Supplies and Expenses Highway.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as written, we'd just like to transfer $4,271.70 insurance recovery into highway supplies and expenses.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution IT3 by Legislator Walpole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution establishing capital project number 89, airport site development.
As written in the packet, we have received $15,000 from Exelon as part of one of our many projects going on at the county airport. And this is establishing the capital project number 89 to help with the main power extension.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I miss you, Frank, or you?
Well, I just had a question. Where's the other 60,000 coming from? Oh, it is? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm in favor.
So it stands, all in favor?
It did say that.
Opposed?
Yes.
Carried. Thank you. Resolution IT5 by Legislator Walpole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budget modification to transfer funds from Insurance Recovery Fund into highway street equipment.
Once again, we have another insurance recovery. This one is in the amount of $165,494. We placed in the highway street equipment.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution IT6 by Legislator Walpole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution increasing authorization of capital project number 46, Legislative Office Building Portico brickwork.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we're looking to increase the authorization of the capital project as there were some additions to the initial project and some things such as improving the handicap accessibility points throughout the building and whatnot, several other things listed in here. We're looking to move $155,000 from one part of the project.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
5 opposed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Resolution EP1 by Legislator Stahl.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make the next resolution and urge its adoption.
Clerk, please read the heading.
Resolution fixing time and place for public hearing relative to the request of landowner inclusion within the existing certified agricultural district pursuant to New York State Agricultural Markets Law, AML Section 303B as amended.
Thank you. This is the annual resolution we make, fixing the time and place for that public hearing.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution EP2, Legislator Stahl.
So I offer this resolution and I urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution appointing members to the Oswego County Soil and Water Conservation District Board of Directors.
Hi, this is, we have an opening on this board, and we are looking to appoint Mr. Thomas Bonofsky to fill that role. Very qualified.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution EP3, Legislator Stahl.
Mr. Chairman, I make this resolution and I urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution recommending appointment to the Central New York Regional Transportation Authority.
Yes, this is a opening that we've had on for the seat on this central board that's been there open for a number of years. It's been a little bit of difficulty finding somebody to fill that role. We have a couple excellent options here that we are recommending for the state to ultimately choose one, hopefully, and that person will fill that seat. We're recommending OCO Director of Transportation Gary Metshaw and Legislator James Karasik.
Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Karasik.
I'll be abstaining.
I guess that.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution HE1 by Legislator Karasik.
Chairman, fellow legislators, I present the following resolution for your consideration.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution appointing members to the Oswego County Traffic Safety Board.
This is 4 people, 2 of them are new appointments, 1 is a reappointment, and 1 is to fill out the term of an appointment for the Oswego County Traffic Safety Board.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution HE2 by legislator Carrasco.
Mr. Chairman, I present the following resolution for consideration.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budgetary modification in Health Department, except the Rural Health Network of Oswego County's Lactation Room Development Mini Grant.
This is a $500 grant from Rural Health Network to create a lactation room at the county health department, and the money will be used to buy materials for that room.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution HE3 by legislator Carrasco.
Mr. Chairman, I present the following resolution for your consideration.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution appointing medical director for the Oswego County Health Department.
Christina Lipke has held that position. Her term is up, and the Board of Health would like to see her take that again, and I think we would too as a county.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution HE4 by legislator Carrasco.
Mr. Chairman, I present the following resolution for consideration.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing an affiliate program with Healthy Families America.
So Healthy Families of America is who we have tried in the last couple of years to get some funding through. We've not been successful with that. However, there is a $4,500 due fee that we paid. It is in the budget, and we passed it with the budget. It's kind of like the lottery. You got to be in it to win it. So, you know, we keep reapplying, and eventually we hope that our turn comes up because we run the Healthy Families program in Oswego County at the current time.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Resolution HS1 by legislator Rehill.
Mr. Chairman, I offer the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budget modification, Department of Social Services, to transfer carrying funds in the Employment and Training Division.
This is a budget modification to flow $16,171 of federal WIOA workforce funding into the 2 budget lines as shown. WIOA stands for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution HS2 by legislator Rehill.
Mr. Chairman, I offer the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budget modification, Department of Social Services, to accept comprehensive addiction and recovery, CARA funds.
This is a budget modification to accept $70,000 of state CAPTA and CARA funding intended to help us improve our response to families and infants affected by substance use and abuse disorders.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution HS3 by legislator Rehill.
Mr. Chairman, I offer the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing the Social Services Department budgetary modification and memorandum of agreement for school-based preventative services caseworker.
This resolution is to accept a budget mod and a memorandum of agreement with the APW School District in order to initiate a pilot whereby we'll be basing a preventive services caseworker within the school district. The budget modification covers an increase coming from the school and from federal aid. We believe that this will be a model to follow in the future, as it will increase the quality and speed with which we address child abuse and neglect situations, and it has already improved the speed and the quality of interactions between DSS and the district. It is essentially budget neutral for the county because the state pays 62% of the cost of the caseworker, and the district picks up, 68%, and the district picks up the other 32%.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator Delcano.
Just a point of correction, is it state or federal government that picks up the 62%?
No, that's the state.
State, okay.
And just as they provide, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Stacy, it's, go ahead.
It's uncapped at the state level for preventive funds, and then there are some federal funds that come into the state.
Okay, and my other question is, it's a very exciting pilot, obviously, to be done in APW. Is the idea to eventually phase out other preventative contracts that we have currently going with the school districts?
No.
So this will be an add-on if we start developing in other school districts, we'll be adding on in addition to preventative contracts we have.
Are you talking our Liberty Resources? Yeah, they're very focused on our juvenile justice kids, the youth kids. They are connected to that new services part of DSS. And this is really focusing in on families with children where there's been maltreatment.
So it's not a duplication of service?
It is not a duplication of service.
Good.
Good.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution HS4, legislator Rita.
Mr. Chairman, I offer the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing the Social Services Department budgetary modification and memorandum of agreement, including the creation of one caseworker position.
This resolution is to accept the budget modification to create an adult protective services caseworker position utilizing federal and Division of Mental Hygiene funding, along with the acceptance of a memorandum of agreement with the Division of Mental Health. This position is designed to fill a critical need to provide intensive services to individuals who are mentally unstable, developmentally disabled, or debilitated by addiction, and they may be at risk and may be homeless. Unfortunately, this is a population that's increasing recently, and this position will better address our interactions with these individuals. The position is budget neutral in 2019 and should be sustainable based on projected federal and state funding.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution HS5, legislator Rita.
Mr. Chairman, I offer the following resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing the Social Services Department budgetary modification and the creation of one staff development coordinator position and the deletion of one typist position.
The Department of Social Services is requesting the acceptance of this budget modification that will delete one position and create one new one, the staff development coordinator. These staffing changes continue the efforts of the Commissioner to rework the staffing structure at DSS to be more effective and efficient, and to continue the efforts to support and retain our existing staff. The title and activities of the new position provides for some additional state funding that we weren't getting before and a zero impact on the budget.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator Castillo.
The deletion of the typist position, is the typist position funded or unfunded? But the reason I'm asking is, we're going to come back later, in the year and say, well, we need a typist position on. That's what I'm looking for.
When you say funded, you mean by the state?
By the state. Not us. It's our budget.
Is that a 62% reimbursement?
No, the typist was also under this same funding. However, the state will only reimburse us 100% of all costs of a titled position of staff development coordinator. So not only do we create a livable wage job, but we get 100% reimbursement now.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution FP1, legislator Martino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer this resolution and urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing a budget modification and health facilities and technology position transfer.
This basically is moving a position from one department to another so we can maximize funds related to state aid funds.
Thank
the
you.
position.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any unfinished business? Let's play it.
Forgive me, I'm recovering from a cold, so my eyes not like this. Here the resolution that I want the body to take a look at, and I want a roll call, but first we need to a motion on the floor to waive the rules. Now, this has been going on for about 4 years now, and what it does is that it repeals what the body did this summer of 2014 in regards to the charging of rental fee for highway department equipment. And the reason I'm bringing this up now is because we have been unsuccessful in working with the infrastructure committee, the body as a whole, and later on try to take it to the shared services committee, where we got pretty much blown away, whatever you want to call it. It was just missed outright, even though what's in place is wrong. It is very wrong. And in the informational memorandum is a newspaper article that tells that information about this subject has not been honest with us or the public about this. So I want to vote on this resolution, but we need to waive the rules before we can vote on this. And not only will it eliminate this, notify it, but later on we have intermunicipal agreement with our municipality to share equipment that all the counties around us does. So again, I would like a motion. I'm going to make a motion to waive the rules, and I want a roll call. I don't know how much more clear I can be about that.
Mr. Chairman, I can't understand a thing he says. Could you have that in writing or something?
It should be right in front of you.
Well, speak then. I can't understand you, right?
Wait it.
Oh, once again, I couldn't
Wait it.
understand.
Let's have a little decorum here, folks. We can get through this. As it stands right now, we have a motion by Legislator Farfalia to waive the rules. We're going to deal with that first. Do we have a second? Legislator Castillo. How did I get?
I said, well, I got my hand up there. I didn't know
I take that as a second.
That's a second.
Okay. So that we know we have a motion on the floor to waive the rules to discuss further.
And vote.
Okay. Any other discussion? Legislator Twist.
I'd just like to point out that we do offer towns and villages what you are saying in here. We just make sure that when the equipment comes back, it's in good shape. That's all we're asking. Comes back, the legislator, the governing legislator of that area comes and says, hey, this area, say the city of Fulton would like to borrow a loader. Okay, awesome. We let them borrow a loader if we can, if it is available. Then there is a fee that they know is there. They bring the fee forward. You would bring the fee to the infrastructure committee. Kurt, we would talk to Kurt, say, did the loader return in the same condition that we gave it to?
We've explained it 100 times.
Yeah, well, I just want, I know we have, but I want to say.
It's
Agreed with that
wrong
before.
motion.
We've agreed with that before.
Wrong motion.
Legislator Twist has the floor.
I just want to point out that this is offered. That's all I wanted to point out.
Thank you. Legislator Rita.
The resolution hasn't made it to the floor until we waive the rules. I would suggest we don't discuss the resolution any further until we vote on waiving the rules.
That is a good correction point. And the legislators of county had the same point, I believe. So the motion or the resolution on is, do we want to waive the rules? And we do have a second.
We're asking for a roll call vote on waiving the rules.
Okay, roll call vote.
Margaret Kassler.
I'm going to pass.
Wilbur Potter.
I'll pass.
Edward Gilson.
No.
David Holst.
No.
Roy Rehill.
No.
John Martino.
No.
Bradley Trudell.
No.
Paul House.
No.
James Weatherup.
No.
Mary Ellen Chesbro.
No.
Linda Lockwood.
No.
Richard Klein.
No.
Patrick Twist.
No.
Stephen Walpole.
No.
Nathan Emmons.
No.
Thomas Drum.
Yes.
Shane Burwell is absent, excused. Heather Belconte.
Yes.
Marie Schott.
Yes.
Tim Stahl.
No.
Terry Wilbur.
No.
James Karasik.
No.
Morris Cervello. Daniel Fafaya.
Hell, yes.
Frank Castillo.
Yes.
Margaret Kassler.
No?
Milton Potter.
No.
19 against,
19 against, motion fails. Any other unfinished business? Any miscellaneous business? Legislator Castillo. You have something?
I'd like to bring up
4 o'clock.
Yes, so I don't want anybody to, if I walk out, I don't want anybody to get upset. This past year, when we started this new year, we started a new procedure, and I'm in favor of the procedure in the legislative meetings and our committee meetings. I'm in favor that, what I'm not in favor of is the length of time in between when the meetings, the committee meetings are, and F&P, the final one, and then to the legislative floor. For anybody that wants to research anything that is brought up during any of the committee meetings, your time is limited, and you're not able to make a intelligent vote on the floor as to whether or not you're in favor of something or not in favor of something. Taking someone's word, we know from what happened at the beginning of this meeting, just isn't happening. We need to see it in writing, and we'd like to see what other things are going on. So I'm just saying that I would like to see the length of time in between committee meetings and F&P before the full legislative meeting to go back to the old way. I like the format. I like the format of the, on the new committee, on the new format we have here today. That's very informative, very helpful. But I just want a length of time in between so that we can research things. That's all I'm asking. Okay?
Thank you. Any other?
Let's look at it. Okay?
Oh. Right. Just for the record, the resolution regarding the Village of Plasky was pulled as they paid. I should have identified that as we went through. Any other miscellaneous business? Mr. Jones.
We have the 2019 financial disclosures have been spread out across all of your tables there. Those are due back May 1st, by May 1st. Those can be turned in to either the county attorney's office or my office.
Thank you. If there's nothing else, I'd look for the proper motion.
Make a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to just say there will be a brief Republican caucus following this meeting.
Thank you.
Yes, in comment.
I'll second it. Second by legislator Wilbur, stand here. Is there any speakers?
No speakers.
No speakers on the public comment. You're right. Thank you very much.